Beautifully driven and through for 4. Well, he's lost nothing overnight, Jacques Kallis. It was full, it was wide, beautiful assured foot movement, and he's packed it away in the gap for his 26th boundary.
The second new ball, as I said to you youngsters, watch how to play drives, hooks, cuts, the whole repertoire. Look at that, beautiful extension and great execution.
He'll have to hurry. Oh, that was desperately close. I think Mackenzie thought the throw was going to go to the other end, and he wasn't really stretching early on. And then Brooke Walker picked his end, and I fancy this would have been close.
You're right in the button there, Brett, because he did. I think he just started to meander. He didn't really take off, and suddenly he had to put the foot down, and I think he would have been gone. Yes, he would have been gone.
Oh, they go up for the catch, and he's gone! Kallis doesn't want to go, but he's been sent packing, and New Zealand have made the breakthrough. The key wicket of Jacques Kallis out for 160. O'Connor strikes.
Not a happy chappy. He shakes his head. He stood around, and he had to look back at the umpire for a second time. Let's have a little squiz at this. Well, I think there's a little bit of daylight there. I'd love to see a super slow-mo, because he's making a little bit of noise, but he's not a very happy chappy. Keeper, half-hearted really. Now for 160, it's 279 for 4.
It's a very good shot, right in front of square on the leg side, just where he was wanting it, and he's put it away easily for 4 to get off the mark.
Perfect balance. You notice how his weight is transferred down the pitch as opposed to falling away to the offside, and that enables him to keep the ball down safely through mid-wicket.
Oh, it's a lovely drive. What a good comeback from Mark Boucher after just scrambling out the way of the bouncer previously. He's driven Tuffy nice and straight for almost 4 runs. In fact, it's well run. 4 runs. Good work from these 2 youngsters in the middle. End of the over, 292 for 4. It's gone through the vacant third slip area. There is no third man again, and it's running away for another boundary.
Groans of disappointment from the slips, but it's 50 up for Neil Mackenzie. He races his bat.
Overpitched and smacked through extra cover for 4. Very good shot from Neil Mackenzie, and it also brings up South Africa's 300.
But as soon as it's overpitched and it's in the slot, he's hit it really well.
It's a great delivery, and I think there was a neck. Yes, there was. So Martin has struck. That's the second wicket that he's picked up, and that is a really big breakthrough for the Kiwis.
The length is the key here. Beautiful delivery, angling in as he is wont to do with his action, but then as it pitches, it just moves fractionally off the seam. And Mackenzie, well, you can't say that he shouldn't be on the back foot. That was one of those in-between deliveries, just the faintest of edges to Perori. This time, no doubt, though. And Mackenzie gone for a well-played 55.
That's a great shot. That is an outstanding shot for Mark Boucher.
Just cannot afford to give this man, or any wicketkeeper in fact, because a lot of them have got scissors contracts. They love to cut anything.
Got him. Wow, he's got one straight through Lance Klusener, perhaps trying to play a little bit too square. But Shayne has come back and he's done the damage. The Kiwis are delighted, and they know how important it is to see that man on his way.
Well, he's pretty peeved off with himself. I was just going to mention that the difference between an experienced side is when you can clean up the tail, middle order exposed, and then really trying to go through that leg side. Held its line nicely. O'Connor just started to shape away. Top of Midland off. Klusener out for 9. 330 for 6.
Overpitched and through extra cover. It's very good timing from Briere. And he's going to pick up his first boundary.
Stroked this very sweetly through the covers. That lovely extension. Didn't try and smash it too hard.
Quick single. Well, a bit of interaction between the bowler and also Nicky Boyer. It's a bit more like the winter game that's played in South Africa and New Zealand.
That's through the gap. Another glorious shot by Nicky Boyer. It wasn't a half volley. He had to lean into the shot and just enough power to go across the ropes. His second good boundary through the same area. Extra cover.
Always seems to look good when a left-hander cover drives. Looks so elegant, and this is no exception to the rule.
Good shot. That struck away a man in top form as Nicky Boyer. Slightly short, bit of width, and punishment for the bowler.
It must be a great feeling being able to come to the wicket with such a confident state of mind. Anything wide, it's no question of maybe I'll nick this one, I better be careful. It's wide, he just has a full go.
Full toss, and that smashed away. That really was a gift for Mark Boucher. Slow, full toss, leg stump, and got the right reward for the batsman. Saw him coming, and that's a mis-stumping. Not a very easy one. It kept very, very low. Walker saw Nicky Boyer coming down the wicket. He dragged it short and wide, and unfortunately for both him and Adam Perori, it's kept low. Short and pulled away. That's a very good shot indeed from Nick Boucher, and it goes over the ropes, much to the delight of his home crowd here in Bloem. And that is what has caused that, is Nicky Boyer prepared to attack the leg spinner. He's been prepared to use his feet, and so the pressure has told on the leg spinner.
Yes, he doesn't want to give it any air, and he ends up dragging it down short.
Well, 6 has been signalled by the umpire, but on the second thought, he called the third umpire in, or has he? No, he hasn't. 6.
It's a lovely stroke. Through the covers for 4. It doesn't come any better than that. Very, very good stroke indeed from Mark Boucher. It's a great shot again. Wasn't all that short, but enough time to rock on the back foot and just hit it back of the square for 4. Appreciated by the crowd here. And Bloemfontein, of course, is Nicky Boyer's home ground. It's a great shot. Very good shot again. Don't know how many times we've said that throughout this game, but once again they've found an area through extra cover and smacked it away. Just sliding leg side. He's just struggling a bit with the line to the left and right-handed combination at the moment. And Mark Boucher has brought up yet another Test 50. Bit of width off it there from Nathan Astor. Nicky Boyer just rocks it on the back foot and picks himself up. Yet another boundary. That's his 6-4. Great shot. More toll on the Kiwi attack, and another boundary. Another dent in the advertising board. It's a good shot. Terrific shot through mid-on. It's going to go for another boundary. That's the second boundary of the over. And now, with still 1 ball remaining, there's 10 runs off this over. Correction, 12 runs off this over. In the air, and should be out. Yes, it is. So it's taken by Tuffy. Nicky Boyer looking to go over the top, I think, of the bowler, perhaps over mid-on, not getting enough bat on it. And Tuffy takes a pretty good catch. So that's another important breakthrough for the Kiwis. But the end of a very good innings from Boyer.
Going to be disappointed about this, Nicky Boyer. 43, and he was looking to get that half century brought up pretty smartly. Daryl Tuffy, he's yet to take a test wicket, but he's got a test catch. And Nathan Astor coming round the wicket, changing the angles, a slight change up of pace, and it was all pretty much slow motion. Where departs at 43. South Africa 409 for 7.
Oh, he's got hold of that. That is an amazing pull shot. And has it gone all the way? Well, Dave Orchard is going to call into the walkie-talkie and ask Rudy Koetsen to judge whether that went for 6. And the answer is very quick. No, it's gone for 4. Oh, the edge found. A little bit of width. He just pushed it wider, Astle. Pollock driving at it has found the edge, and it'll run away for 4. Big shot for LBW. Gone! So Brooke Walker strikes. Mark Boucher is sent packing, sweeping the wrist spinner, and the Indian umpire, Mr. Jai Prakash, has sent Mark Boucher on his way.
Well, he gets a bit of a consolation tap on the back, but let's look at the line of this and see if we can pick whether you can see whether it's pitched on the line of the stumps and whether it's going to go on to hit the stumps. Probably not the worst decision. It's a long way down the wicket, Mark Boucher, but and so for that reason he'll feel a little disappointed, but probably the umpire's got it right. Boucher gone for a really well played 76, and South Africa 429 for 8 now.
Full toss worked away nicely. He's a sweet timer of the ball is Shaun Pollock, and this will race away for 4. No effort whatsoever, just beautiful timing and placement.
That's the trick really, is to make sure that he hits it wide of mid-on. You see, just closing the face of the bat so that he can get it between mid-on and mid-wicket. That'll make him feel a lot better.
I'm sure.
Crowd are enjoying it. Actions are pretty clear from the South African camp. Runs are to be got, and quickly gave himself a bit of room. Timed it pretty well, did the number 10 batsman Allan Donald. And I always like a situation because if Donald plays a few shots, it G's up the bowlers. They get a bit cross and fly in the odd bouncer, and Allan Donald will get upset just as he's about to bowl.
Gee, that's out of the screws, that one. Just giving himself a little bit of room and punching it to... Yeah, he's had a dip at that, but a swing and a miss. The fact that Fleming, as we look at that last delivery, the last whoosh from Donald, Fleming is going to be a very important man in their lineup, getting into the wickets column. Nathan Astle, of course, is also an important member. Oh, there's the good old-fashioned French cut. Allan Donald might describe that later as a cover drive. 4 more.
Who cares? It's 4 more to Donald and 4 more to the total. He'll accept any aiming to play it in the same region, but off the front foot. Doesn't get the middle of the bat. The inside edge, past the nation hazy. It looks a big bird on television, not that big actually, but...
Well, that's well played. He's played that like a number 3 batsman. Allan Donald just whipping it off the pads for a couple. And he's raced to 21. 4 fours in that 21 off 34 balls. Good performance.
Very good indeed. Just 4 short of Shaun Pollock. He's placed 41 for 25.
Well, there's a pair of Hardy-Dahs. 2 pairs of Hardy-Dahs. Change room. Almost everyone has got some good runs under their belt.
Serious discussion going on between captain and bowler.
Gone. Straight to the man in the gully. So Shaun Pollock goes, and also along with that the declaration. So that's positive stuff from Pollock, and Mike Proctor, you were spot on.
Yeah, that's good declaration by the South African captain. And as soon as he hit that ball into the gully, he was annoyed with himself. I think he wanted to stay out there for another 5-10 minutes and get some more runs on the board while it was going good. But he's hit Martin's first delivery in this is about fifth spell, straight to Sinclair in the gully, who looks pretty straightforward, but it went pretty quickly. So South Africa end up with 471 for 9 after 142.1 overs.
Another look at the dismissal. Pollock just looking to slap it square. Good sharp catch actually from Sinclair. Didn't have to move too much, but just about in the perfect spot, I suppose, in the breadbasket, and Martin picked up his third wicket. So that's South Africa 400.
TC Trophy champions, the Black Caps, continue their African safari. The West Indies carry on with their campaign down under.
On a big occasion, and that continued to be a little bit wayward, but he's just had a low-key build-up to this game.
And he's been neatly clipped away behind square immediately by Mark Richardson. And that's a good confident start by the New Zealand left-handed opener.
In his favour. 2 gullies in position, 3 slips.
I'm going to put a pox on it. It's almost as if this is gullies. Short leg. Oh, slashed away over the square of the 2 gullies, down to third man for 4.
To dry, he really has a full flash at it, and that's going to take some catching. Gary Kirsten's the square of the 2 gullies, but he's got no chance of getting anywhere near it. Well, any top-class opener will thrive on width, and Richardson seems no different. It's a good approach to take, though. A nice positive approach from the opener. But he's taking the attack to Donald.
Oh, that's a gorgeous stroke. The best of the 3, and the result the same. What a start this is for New Zealand.
Well, he's using Donald's adrenaline. And there's not much wrong with that delivery. A little short, perhaps. But he really plays a good-looking drive off the back foot.
Not the start Donald would have wanted. Oh, what a good over for Mark Richardson in New Zealand. Seldom do you see 15 runs off the first over of a test innings, and off a man who's shy of that milestone.
If you're facing the pair of Donald, probably want to face Pollock least.
Well, it's off target initially. The only plus factor
Average of 20, just marginally better than Donald's, in fact.
Well, he's really looked the part, Richardson, almost treating this as a net. Oh, he works it again. Pollock just too straight and drifting onto the pads. It's like a one-day innings. Good leave.
Well, if he's
Driven and through for 4. Squeezed it away wide of the diving gully, down to third man. Yet another boundary for Richardson.
chasing the ball a bit here. He's moved his gully. He's one of the 2 gullies he had from gully to a position at square leg, and the very next delivery flies away through that area.
1.5 and over. And he has raced to 23 out of 23, Mark Richardson.
He is really at the top of his concentration, and he consolidates.
Martin to tell why. South Africa has a member of the Test 300 club. His name, Allan Donald. Allan, many congratulations. It must be a huge relief.
Well, I don't know if it's any more relief than the gunshots going off and getting the 300th wicket, but yeah, I feel much more comfortable now than I was at the start, and you know, now we've got to do it all over again, and hopefully there's another 100 in the bag.
Ernie Els described winning the $1 million for the first time as like getting a gorilla off his back. Has the pressure been like that for you over the last few weeks?
Yeah, I probably didn't realise what a big thing it really is, and you know, now I know after I've taken that wicket, it was quite a sort of emotional moment, and you know, it was built up to be a big thing, and I'm just glad that it's now over and we can start playing cricket again.
We wondered whether you were going to get a bowl after lunch. Was the plan always to come on with a new ball?
Yeah, wait until obviously the wickets fell early after lunch, and you know, I thought I might get a go after lunch with a new ball if they had to follow on. But you know, and then we've got to now go after tea and start all over again. But yeah, just relieved.
You've already hinted that 300 is not the end. Is 400 a realistic possibility?
Well, I need a lot of tape to put me together. You know, it's a long way off, but we'll start counting again, and hopefully, you know, we'll look after myself and stay fit, and most of all, I stay on the field and try to do that, count to the next 100.
Well, there are another couple of gentlemen here who'd like to add their congratulations. UCB President Percy Son and Managing Director Dr. Ali Bakr. President Son, first of all.
Allan, on behalf of the United Cricket Board of South Africa and all the people of South Africa we represent, and to congratulate you of becoming the 15th member of all-time greats in cricket to take this 300.
Thanks.
There's a present on behalf of from our sponsors for you, the SA Breweries and MTN. Here's a painting which depicts you with these greats on here, and there's obviously also some beers in this for you.
300 beers.
300 beers and 300 free calls. Congratulations, brother.
Thanks. Thank you very much.
300 beers from Castle Lager, 300 free calls from MTN. Ladies and gentlemen, South Africa's very first member of the Test 300 Club, Allan Donald.
.71 for 9, with Kallis making 160, and then Donald getting to 298, snaking one back from around the wicket to remove Mark Richardson, and then Sinclair judged via the TV umpire. The catch was clean, but was it controlled? Rudy Coetsen, the third umpire, judged it as such, and they were 2 down for 29, but Fleming and Spearman, with measured cricket, saw them to the security of close of play, which was 8 overs and 4 deliveries early through bad light last evening.
Yes, I thought Spearman and Fleming did a very good job in just consolidating and making sure that no further damage was done. Donald started off with a very nightmarish first over, 15 runs coming off the bat of Richardson, but then after that settled into a very nice line and length outside the off stump, and the dismissal of Richardson was a special delivery. Pollock was his normal best, and Mackay and Tinney, I thought, was getting into a nice rhythm and working up quite a nice head of steam.
Now, the pitch itself has been a pretty good one for the first 2 days. Towards the end of yesterday, it started to keep a little bit low. But for the most part, if the bowlers put it in with the new ball, it's helped a bit, but it's been a pretty good pitch for batting.
The South Africans, speaking to them, they thought that the pitch had flattened out in the afternoon session. It was quite awkward after that rain overnight, but they thought that their work is going to be cut out today.
Let's just walk down the wicket and have a look. There is still a nice even grass covering on here, and there's a few cracks, but they're not really significant at the moment, and that's not going to cause uneven bounce. And as we walk down, we'll see that the covering of grass and the pitch marks are getting a little bit whiter in colour. And we get down, there's only one area of concern, and it might be an interesting area for the fast bowlers bowling from the pavilion end. This crack here has definitely widened out. Okay, and I've got the moisture meter with me. Let's see what the moisture reading is here over this particular crack, because it is important. And yes, we can see that it's about 50%, which is 50% lower than it was on the opening day. And this, of course, means that the wicket is getting better, or the pitch is getting better to bat on, and it's going to take some bowling by South Africa to win this Test match.
The opinions of Bob Woolmer on what he would suggest would be a good day for batting. The weather, similarly.
Experience the Asian X Games qualifier presented by Toyota live in Phuket from the 7th to the 10th of December 2000.
Down the leg side and speeding away down to the very fine leg boundary for 4. Off the pad.
That went quite quickly off the pads, and normally when it goes quickly you think it's off the bat, but quite clearly they're just off the bottom of the thigh pad.
Oh, there's a big appeal for LBW. Well, the bounce there, certainly the lack of it, the undoing of Stephen Fleming. But a good start for Donald.
I think what did Fleming as well was the angle of the delivery. It really, similar to the way he got Richardson out, it really comes from wide and it just keeps coming at him. And initially I'm sure he thought that's going to pass by the off stump.
Full squeezed away behind square on the offside. The outfield's quickened up since yesterday, and this will just be dipping up to the fence for 4. Handy boundary for Stephen Fleming. In the air, slashed away down to third man for 4.
Boundary to Spearman. He gets into the 20s. But nice pace and bounce for Donald, and not in complete control of the shot.
Edged and gone! Pollock strikes. It was Fuller, and he was still on the crease, Spearman. And that's the breakthrough South Africa were looking for.
Spearman not quite playing an in-between shot, not quite going attackingly at the ball or defensive. And a little bit of extra bounce from Pollock in the perfect channel area just outside that off stump. Make sure that the edge carries to Lance Klusener at third slip, who took a sharp catch.
It's a good shot. Just behind square on the leg side. Wrong line from Pollock. Probably the first time in this innings, basically. But anyway, Fleming's got for 4.
Black Cap's captain second boundary, and a very well timed shot indeed. Little flick of the wrists, didn't hit it very hard.
It's a very good shot. Really playing nicely, Stephen Fleming, at the moment. In tune.
I was just going to say a chance of running for here, but no need to.
Yeah, that was well timed. Just striking through the line of the ball. He's got that away. It's a very good shot, actually, in the end. He looked like he was a little bit uncomfortable for a while, but got enough bat on that to get himself a boundary for the first ball of the over. In the air. Oh, goodness me. Gary Kirshner's quite deep there at short leg. I actually noticed before that ball that he is quite deep, of course, when you're at short leg and the track is not providing all that much bounce and fire. I think you've got to be a bit closer.
Yeah, and I think it was a fair way away from him. It was pretty high in front of him there, just out of reach. And he anticipated quite well to Gary Kirsten, but the reason for anticipating it well was because he had a bit of time. It was short and wide.
Oh, it's a very good shot through extra cover. Certainly wasn't a half volley. And he's put that away for another boundary. That's a fine shot. also brings up the 100.
Very good shot from Nathan Astle. Bit of width, but it's a good length delivery. And just see him play it on the up. Certainly no... look at a half volley, that. Lovely rhythmical run up. Swaying of the shoulders. Left arm. Then just opens out there a fraction.
There he goes again. This time finds the gap. No trouble at all for Astle. That's a lovely square drive by the middle order man.
Just notice there, Nathan Astle, he really wanted this because he probably felt he missed out the previous delivery, and it's a beautiful classic square drive. Once again, Tini slightly overpitched. I'm talking about how these conditions are superb, and the margin for error now is even less than the previous 2 days. Lovely stroke. Good shot from the stump cam here. Great conditions.
Oh, in the air, straight down the ground, thumped uncompromisingly to the very straight long-on fence for 4, and Ntini is being put to the sword here.
Certainly put to the sword there, because he really wasn't at the pitch of the ball at all. Look at that. The weight was going back, the transfer of the weight was going back, and he smashes it past the umpire at this end. And we talk about his strength hitting down the ground. Well, it shows he's in pretty good touch this morning. 44, but you can see there the weight transfer.
Slashed away, no third man. We've seen plenty of boundaries during the last 3 days in that area.
See now, Ntini is bowling to Fleming. That's Fleming's 50. And very well played indeed, because he mixed caution with aggression.
Bowled him, brilliant. The breakthrough that Shaun Pollock and South Africa wanted. A lovely delivery, flighted up, and the classical left armour to a left-hand batter on the drive through the gate, and out goes the middle stump.
Well, he's worked so hard as Fleming. He must be a little disappointed, but this is a beautiful delivery. The ball in the rough, pitched in the rough, and turning through the gate. A little bit lazy as a left-hander. You've got to be so careful to get that foot right to the pitch when the left armer has the opportunity of bowling into some rough areas outside your off stump.
Edged, brilliantly caught. That's the breakthrough again. Mackay and Tini. Jacques Kallis dives to his left, and a well-deserved wicket for Mackay. Joy for the South Africans.
Good from Mackay and Tini, but brilliant from Kallis. This is a catch out of the top draw. Nathan Astle is disappointed. So often one goes and then the next one follows. But look at this catch. Just angling in. No movement from the feet. And look at that. It's in the awkward position between first and second slip.
Down the wicket. The big shot, and a very good one indeed. Nothing wrong with the delivery, but he's down the wicket is Craig McMillan. And smashes it for 4.
He's got him! 299! One away from the 300, and you're going to hear a bang pretty soon, I would imagine, from that Eland, the armoured vehicle, and McMillan departs. Good grab behind. There it is!
Well, the whole ground just shook then. Not good batting, I'm afraid, Craig McMillan, and he knows it. Wideish on off stump. He's gone for the cut. Beats him for a bit of pace and bounce. Straight through to Boucher. Very comfortable catch. Allan Donald stoked.
Almost a carbon copy of the previous ball. Hit a little bit better this time, so they'll certainly think about 3 runs. Lance Klusener is the chaser, and they decide to come back. Goodness me, this might be tight.
And surprise, surprise, it's that man Adam Perori.
Big appeal, it's close, and it's out. Pollock strikes, first over after lunch, and Perori has gone for 11.
Close to the wicket is Pollock on most occasions. This one just nipping back off the seam slightly. Perori thinks it might have slipped down the leg side. He looks a little bit disappointed. And this will tell us. Pitching just outside the off stump, cutting back slightly. That's probably going to go on to hit leg stump.
Bowled him, a beauty from Pollock. That's the delivery. That's brought the 8th wicket for New Zealand. And they are struggling. Really good over from the South African captain.
Yes, you're not going to be rushing onto the front foot if you're a tail ender and someone keeps peppering you with bounces. And he's bowled a few short deliveries, and Tuffy's hesitant to come forward. The ball is of a fuller length, just comes back slightly off the seam. In fact, nicely off the seam. And
yeah, the front foot didn't advance too much down the wicket. That was one of the reasons for his dismissal, but also close to the wickets, hits the seam. Middle stump goes back. Tuffy gone for naught. New Zealand 185 for 8. From Connor. And good tactics. They've been out there a fair while. They haven't scored any runs, and it's runs at the end of the day that are going to help New Zealand, not occupation of the crease. And a big swing again. This has gone over mid-wicket this time. Good tactics by the left-handed New Zealander.
it's against the spin, so there's a bit of...
Big appeal. It's a short pitch delivery. Pollock's really in an aggressive mode here.
But the first rule of umpiring, if it pitches outside leg stump, you just cannot give the decision, no matter what.
Trying to survive. He's got that away leg side. And it also brings up the 200, which is something that we weren't too sure if we'd see, Danny Morrison.
Park. Lovely part of the wood to the target.
That's optimistic.
Shaun Pollock, big fellow at the lunge.
That's a quick ball. Mark Boucher having to do a little bit of extra work, leg side, just tips it around the corner post.
Perception of Jacques.
Looking for 2. Oh, you went wide of the crease there, Antini. Angled it in. Good judgment from Walker. That wasn't far away from the off stump.
Good bowling by Mackay and Tini. The intention was for the batsman.
He's got it! There it is! Number 300 for Allan Donald. Shayne O'Connor is trapped LBW. Elation all around Bloemfontein.
And that's Tina's wife. Marvellous moments. And that's his wife taking pictures. The music starts to blare. And O'Connor goes back to his mark. You hear the gun go, the tank, and the crowd are on their feet. Wonderful stuff.
What a moment. There's the victim looking as disconsolate as you can imagine. But all around Bloemfontein, all around...
Wonderful scenes here at Goodyear Park, Bloemfontein. Allan Donald has just taken his 300th, the 15th man ever to take 300 wickets in Test cricket. And this is how it happened. Pitches on line, it straightens fractionally, plays from the crease, and that's going to hit middle stump. No doubt about that. Allan Donald's 300.
Thumbs up everywhere.
What a... Certainly did, but he got enough bat on and he just squeezed it down. There's a vacant third man position, so that's frustrating for the big quick. And Martin's picked up a boundary. Looking for a couple here. Walker will be looking for 2. Mackenzie the chaser. I think they'll just settle for the 2, although they could take 3 if they want. Yes, they're going to come back and take the 3rd. That's well played from Brooke Walker.
Edge out, and that's it. Kallis has struck. The final wicket, caught Boucher. Martin eventually...
Well, this is the line you look to for tailenders. Feet don't move. And he was already looking, in fact, as soon as he nicked it, Chris Martin. But I think that decision might be made for us very shortly here, Mike. Thoughts are psychological being reinserted. There's always that power. Fielding his ability. Half an hour there for 23 balls. New Zealand all out for 229.
Warm applause for the South Africans. There's the man of the moment, the big man, Allan Donald. Warm applause all around the ground for the South Africans, as well as man and pick. Captain Steve Fleming played a very, very good innings of 57, as did Nathan Astle, 37. And then not too much guard action, 89 overs used up. And then Tini, Kallis and Boye all picked up wickets. Klusner just the 3 overs. But the moment does belong to the man at the top of those bowling figures, Allan Donald. Few pictures of them shortly as we have a look at the partnerships.
And the Kiwis got off to a bit of a flyer there with Richardson. But nothing really to write home about it.
Oh, that they go up for the catch. No, well, I thought they'd be interested in the LBW initially, but there was no appeal then until it settled in the Boucher gloves, but a fine delivery.
Well, all of a sudden, this ball comes back a long way. Doesn't go particularly wide of the crease. That seemed a lot of the pitch. Lot.
In the air, should be caught. Out. Mackenzie takes a simple catch. Ntini's extra pace gets the breakthrough.
From Ntini. Superb length. And Spearman wondering where his next scoring shot will come from. Slightly shorter, but it's much too quickly onto him. And before he can get any plus, he's gone for a patient 15, but I don't think he would be satisfied.
There's a bit of swing there. It will be a leg by. In fact, it might be more than just a one. Ntini does very well indeed. Moved very swiftly to that. And 2 leg buys. There's a few. Certainly 3. Lance Klusner the chaser. It might go all the way. No, Lance Klusner is going to track it down. And they decide to come back quite comfortably for the 3rd.
It's a good way to get off the mark. Slightly over pitched, he just leans into it.
It's a very good shot. Threw mid on. Yeah. It's going to go all the way.
A single will bring up the New Zealand 50. Driving firm-footed, but his placement is good. Mackenzie's the chaser. 2 more for Richardson.
And one would have to Mark Richardson. Talk about how much he's worked at his game, desired it. Getting big scores and batting a lot of time, as he has done in the last 2 years, to get this opportunity to break into the Black Caps. Very frustrating Spearman with all his ability and talent.
Well, he's played it well in the end, but he had to adjust because I don't think that bounced nearly as much as he thought it would. It's a lovely piece of fielding out in the deep by Dippenaar. And the throw hits the stumps direct from the deep. But the running is equally sound.
The umpires are just having a little look at this to recheck it. Super stuff there. Dippenaar. Good commitment. Every run he counts.
2 wide and neatly placed by Richardson. Waited for it, hit it late, squeezed it down to backward point, and it just gets across the rope.
See how much Boye has been giving it here. Really trying to get it to rip.
There from Gary Kirsten. Cut away, through for 4. Bad ball, and it got the treatment.
Yeah, I have to say I'm a little disappointed too. It's out of the summer. And hometown hero Donald, yes, he's got his 300th.
Working hard for you, Bodgy. Come on, boy.
Cut 4. Too short, too wide. Left-handers love that area. And Richardson picks his spot.
Just a bit of width here from Kallis. Just back on that note of perhaps a genuine swing bowler.
There's a big shout. No real danger though, I don't think. Overs to look at that shout again. Squeeze that through. Extra cover was quite full. And a bit of a chase there for Allan Donald. He's going to track it down, but they'll come back for 3. So that's the key, I think. New Zealand still have to stay nice and positive. It's been a pretty good performance. It's well played. Whipped through mid-wicket. Just going to be 2 runs, but it brings up Richardson's 50. So that's a good performance from him. Good start out of 80 runs.
There's only 90 deliveries. It's amazing how quickly it's got. The variations that he might bowl.
Yeah, I think the good umpires, Dave, they're the ones that actually take that to a chat quite soon, actually, because it suddenly got quite dark again as we look at that ball sliding down leg side.
It's actually coming charging in.
Well, we didn't get it straight either. Sliding leg side. They're off, so it was the second chat today. Offered it to the batsman, and of course the batsmen were out of the...
Nicely driven. There was no fuss and bother in it. It was a firm push through mid-on. And a good confidence builder for Matthew Sinclair. He picks up 3.
Well, speaking from the former quick bowling brigade, Brett, I did enjoy batters who stayed back on the crease like that. Yes, they were good back foot players and they liked to generally play the horizontal bat shots. But if you could swing the ball, and in the strength of a lot of us sort of midgets, we had to swing the ball and get something in the air because of that lack of bounce, but certainly up there. And Klusener's not a tall man, and he is into the wicket bowler, but he has to do something a little bit in the air if he can.
He's going to get a single here, but he's got to hurry. Oh, I think that would have been close.
Well, what happened there? Look where your running call gave it there, because Richardson got in the way with Klusener. Got a little bit of a tangle here.
Donald now to Sinclair. In the air and gone. What a brilliant catch. Lance Klusener has caught an absolute ripper. Firm-footed again, Sinclair. It was quick. He's just gone to fetch it a bit, but he's got a lot of it, and it's gone high and quick away to Klusener's left. And it's catches like that that can win test matches.
Well, I don't want to sound too negative for the folks at home, but you felt almost that this was coming. The feet, they just don't go. You see the balance of the back foot come around. And, technically, I'd be disappointed with that. I'm very sure of that. Out for 20. New Zealand now 93 for 2.
There's a big shout outside the line, though, but adding some pressure to the environment is Lance Klusener.
No shot offered by Fleming. Hence the excitement and the appeal, but that ball doing too much, probably bouncing over the top of the stumps, and very difficult for the umpire to make a decision. Fleming's on the front foot.
Certainly worth a good shout, though, as you said, Dave. Not playing a shot, that's always going to be dangerous, and the ball's angling back in towards you. And they have a long discussion. That's a very good shot from Stephen Fleming, and he's put it away for 4. That's well played, well whipped through mid-wicket.
It's a type of shot that tall batsmen are able to play a lot easier than the shorter ones. Just able to stand up on your toes and with a more or less straight bat.
It's a lovely shot. Full toss from Nicky Bier. That's the sort of ball you've got to put away to get the scoreboard ticking over. And Fleming does it. End of the over, 104 for 2. Oh, that's beautifully played through the leg side. Whipped away again. So an indication there's still some pace in this wicket. Lovely, lovely timing.
Well, so similar to the shot which Fleming played in the previous over. Shaun Pollock, normally his line so immaculate, just a little towards leg stump.
Whipped off his pads again. He plays that shot so well, does the New Zealand captain. Long chase for Donald. And brilliant athleticism. Goodness me. The big man, he can get down quickly. What an athlete. And a good throw. Is umpire David Orchard going to ask for the third umpire to come into play to see whether it went across the ropes? I'm sure it didn't. The third umpire wasn't called into play for this one. Allan Donald roaring around that boundary. Look at that. That's found the gap on the onside. There'll be a couple. Klusner giving chase. That's cut away. It's four. It's a loose ball and got the treatment.
Yes, you've got to keep that scoreboard ticking. It's all very well to occupy the crease. This man here in your picture just loves to cut. Admittedly, it was wide and got what it deserved. Just looking for that rough Nicky Boyer, just a tad short and a tad wide.
Oh, that's close! Oh, it must have just pitched outside. They sucked it in again. I fancy that was hitting, but my word, there was just a moment's hope for the South African fielders. No trouble there, short and wide, and well, if it's still got to get packed away, lunch over or not, Richardson will have it to the fence. Very good shot indeed, takes him to 77.
And that's the 50 partnership between these two. And wouldn't they be smiling if the partnership was 150?
Oh, goodness me, that's out. He's got him, first ball. Well, the big man has struck again, and there's no doubt that Mark Richardson didn't pick that up at all. Obviously, there's a problem with over the top of the side screen, I would suggest.
Allan Donald, first ball for him after lunch, and Mark Richardson goes plumb LBW. He did struggle to see the delivery, that's for sure. Gary Kirsten in the first innings as well also left the delivery, which pitched in the block hole. And first up for Mark Richardson, he strikes again as the big man pitches it very full. That hits him on the toe, and that is plumb LBW, no doubt whatsoever. That's the breakthrough South Africa wanted. Richardson gone for 77, New Zealand now 145 for 3.
Driven and through. Bouyer will chase and haul it in. And only 2. Driven and through, and this will probably go all the way. Width offered and full of length, and it just wins the race, keeping Shaun Pollock interested all the way. Good stroke from Fleming.
He's going for that fuller one. That's the classical Fleming.
That's beautifully clipped away into such good position. The timing is so pure, and it races away to the fence for his 5th boundary. It's 175 for 3. Oh, he's dragged it on. That is a key wicket for Ntini. It kept a little low, and off the inside edge and the pad, Astle has dragged it into the stumps. And Teeny gets his second wicket. Astle for the second time. It's 175 for 4.
Once again, we see Teeny causing problems for Nathan Astle. Well, particularly well to Nathan Astle. And there it is, inside edge, onto the pads, and disturbs the castle. Over goes the stumps. Bouch is stoked, and so is the bowler. It's up nice into his action, really thumping into the deck. He's deserved that, without a doubt, Teeny.
Fleming gets one away on the onside. Warm applause from the New Zealand contingent. The wives and girlfriends stand up and applaud the 50 for the New Zealand captain, and a well-deserved applause it is too. 154 minutes, just the 5 boundaries. Absolute beauty. There's a big appeal. I don't quite know what for. It might have just clipped the pad. But a superb delivery from Allan Donald.
Oh, it's a great shot. That really is a very, very good shot. Now, to play someone of the pace of Allan Donald through extra cover of the back foot, you've got to be a pretty handy player and in good nick.
Well, talk about vintage Donald. Vintage Fleming.
Starting his 19th. It's a great shot. It's an outstanding shot. It's basically the good old-fashioned bowler killer, that one.
Oh, Michael Haseman, the bowler killer. Yes, well, he had to get out of the way of this, Allan Donald, his follow-through, because it came back so quickly.
Well, he might have done it. He's done it. He's got off the mark, and he's actually picked up 4 runs. Crowd in Bloemfontein has burst to life.
Almost a bit of a facetious ripple of applause, really. It's induced another false stroke, one would have to say. It's the length, and it's an outside edge.
The third day of the first cricket test in New Delhi today. And Mulka made a blustering start to his knock and was batting on 70, while Dravid was batting on 118 when the stumps were drawn for the day. The visiting bowlers had no clue to the thrashing they received from Dravid and Shiv Sundar Das, who made 58. Zimbabwe in their first innings made 422 for 9 wickets prepared.
Oh, big appeal, classic, got him, that's out. There's been a few appeals down that end from Streak. India have lost their first wicket. Ramesh goes for 14. Apply, lovely cut shot, short outside off stump, the swilling. Oh, good shot, straight down the ground, that's beaten it off. This is a fast outfield, that's another boundary. That's his...
बड़ा फास्ट है। पेप्सी प्लीज। एक पेप्सी मुझे भी।
सॉरी, एक ही है।
हेलो, मैं बुजुर्ग हूँ, सारे संस्कार भूल गए। वो मैनर्स कंप्यूटर क्लास के लिए लीव कर दिया कब तक के।
I am Chris, your instructor.
लाओ।
हाँ, क्यों? गुरु दक्षिणा नहीं देंगे?
On third man down there, and it's just trickled out of the fence.
Leg stump half volley. of a chase for Nicky Boyer. Set it for 2. And also brings up the 200.
Particularly pleased. Things are just taking along nicely. Just see the New Zealand All Blacks and the rugby league side. There's the Kiwis, pretty much all in black.
199 for 4, actually. That'll bring up the 200. In fact, it'll scream the scoreboard to 203.
Tad early, folks. As you say, Mike Hazeman.
No straight drive, isn't it? Always value for runs back past the bowler. Lovely, lovely shot from Fleming. That's a very good shot through extra cover. Allan Donald's the man that's got to turn around and try and get after it. It's going to be touch and go, this one. He's going to tag it back, and McMillan plays a confident shot for 3.
Just checking out the seam now. Notice that seam again. He is the best of the South African bowlers, Jacques Kallis. With his release, tends to get the ball to come out nice, seam upright. Gives the ball the best chance to swing away. Get
That's a great shot again from Fleming. Just rocking onto the back foot. It wasn't all that short, and he's punched that through mid-on for 4. That's a really top shot.
Stephen Fleming probably just a little bit more pleased. Concentration there. It's just so elegant. Tall left-hander from Christchurch. Just a fraction short, Jacques Kallis.
End of the over. 211 for 4.
Star.com for TV times and monthly program highlights. And head on over to the Spanish Primera Liga for player profiles. ESPNstar.com.
6 wickets in hand, so it's not a bad position for them, really, after being asked to follow on. It's a very good delivery. Craig McMillan just pulling out of that one a little bit too late. And I think the application, Danny, you've got to actually say they've done a pretty good job in the second dig, because they were really stacked against it after Shaun Pollock asked him to get back in there.
It's interesting, that delivery there, Mike. He's missed it by a long way, Craig McMillan. Talked about him yesterday when you and I were on air together, that he has another set of stumps in his back home training, knowing where his off stump is, and he's just really not quite sure where that off stump is. Just looking at this, I just think he's actually taking a new guard.
Oh, that's in the air, sliding off the outside half of the bat. Nicky, sorry, puts a dip in the chaser. It's going to be touch and go, this one. He does well, the youngster. Certainly plenty of action out in the middle, that's for sure. South African boys are not that impressed with Craig McMillan right now, and they're letting him know it.
A little bit of niggle out here. He just gets more of a thick edge, but no problems there. It's always saving it. There's a bit of byplay here. Seen that replay, and not too happy. A niggle going on.
Plenty going on, Danny. Plenty. While that replay was going on the fielding, actually Shaun Pollock and Craig McMillan were face to face. Umpire from India had to get involved. Had to separate a little bit. Shaun Pollock had a bit of a go. Craig McMillan gave a bit back. So it's all go here in Bloemfontein. Here we go again.
What have I said? He's the one who's staring at me. Get him in the foot.
Beautiful. Stephen Fleming just looking down there, and really just a little bit of heat on here.
Yeah, umpire Jay Prakash having to get very involved.
You're playing well, aren't you? You're playing well, aren't you?
So there it was. That's what it was all about. Plenty being said.
Well, really, the best thing that Craig McMillan could have done there, I tell you, as a former quick bowler, would have just been to look over at you, steer you out, and just blow the bowler a kiss and say nothing. And that would have probably got Pollock's blood boiling that little bit more. And possibly let the bat do the talking. One way of approaching it. But Craig McMillan, it's not in his nature. He does like to have a bit of a go, especially when he's got the ball in his hand. Craig McMillan likes to have a bit to say when he's bowling.
Kallis. He's got that through the covers. We've seen that a few times today, that's for sure. Gary Kirsten, the chaser. And Stephen Fleming moves into the 90s.
Well, hopefully they're not too nervous, Michael, because he is playing superbly. It's often those banners you see around the ground in New Zealand about Stephen Fleming. The big fella. He's tough, he's big, he's strong. How do you stop him? Sometimes you can't.
I must say I've been very, very impressed with Stephen Fleming today. Craig McMillan is having his own problems. It's a little of a battle at the other end. Copped a great deal of verbal from the South Africans just before the tea break, particularly from Shaun Pollock, the skipper. That's what play, just ran off the face, actually. Lance Klusener has got that awkward style of chasing after the ball, but it is effective, and 2 more runs. So the deficit now, just 3 runs. It's been a good performance second time round from the Black Caps. It's optimistic.
That's an easy decision for Dave Orchard.
Three runs from that over from Nicky Beer. Hasn't been a great deal of turn out of this track today. He certainly got 1 or 2 to fizz yesterday, particularly when they got Fleming turned a long way. Quarantini, he's got some fizz. He's bowled very briskly at times. That's a good example. Very short though.
And he jogs back, continues to jog back to his mark. Staggering stuff. Yes, this is very short. Interesting thing about it, it got it high enough. Fleming, a tall man, 6'4"-ish.
Oh, goodness me. That's him. That's a nasty one. Right on the shoulder, I think. Now, that'll get the umpires talking a bit.
Well, to be fair, he's taken his eye off it badly, but yes, he's gone for around, certainly taking his eye off it, and a nasty little spot, soft tissue area. Soft tissue area, you see it into the body, badly Stephen Fleming, you see it, and he takes his eye off it badly, Stephen Fleming, easily played, but if he had just seen his eye, he would have easily played this, he had to stand tall all day, as he has done for most of the day. It's going to hurt.
Yeah, right on the point of the shoulder, but he's up and ready again. Yeah, right on the point of the shoulder, but he's up and ready again. Try to give that one the full whip around the corner. The full whip around the corner. Plenty happening with a little shake there. Now that's exactly how it should be handled. Well done, Stephen Fleming. Just shake that there, should be a look of disdain. Shake at the head and look of disdain.
Look, collected fellas, because you can calculate this fella. You can just calculate, just see that one. You can say, well, come on, can you see that one? Look at the ball. You know what colour it is? Look at the ball. You know what colour it is? Steve Fleming's concentration, just get on with the job. Steve Fleming's concentration, just get on with the job.
That is a magnificent stroke. What a great stroke. That is a magnificent stroke. What a great big stroke he's played. Fleming, outstanding boundary. That stroke he's played. Outstanding boundary.
Your perfect reply. Your perfect reply supporters from New Zealand. Very happy. from New Zealand. Pretty epic. It's not wee bowler Stephen Fleming. That's not wee bowler Stephen Fleming. That's leg. Any left-hander, let alone Stephen Fleming. Any left-hander, let alone Stephen Fleming when he's on 94. He moves to 98.
Trying to get a hold of that, but oh, there might be trouble. The bowler's in. Direct hit would have been interesting. McMillan having to dive back a long, long way. That doesn't look all that great, I must say. Physio Craig Smith meeting him on the park. Obviously some problem with the wrist area. The umpires had another chat, actually, at the end of that over. So that's 2 chats they've had. I've got this little theory that the 3rd chat and you're out off the park, they're off with the light. And of course, while the spinner Nicky Pierre is bowling, it's a better chance of staying there. I'm sure Stephen Fleming we're pretty keen to stay there. He's on 98 not out of 204 balls, 12 boundaries. It's been a wonderful, wonderful innings. Let's have a look and see where Shaun Pollock has his problems. Yeah, just a nasty blow on the wrist, really.
It's Fleming on strike. Donald, he's on 99. Bounce's gloved it. It's in there, it's out. That's off the glove, surely. They have gone berserk, the South Africans. Fleming is absolutely distraught. He can't believe it. And what a delivery from the big man.
Well, when you're tall, it's not easy to get underneath the short pitch delivery. And at Donald's pace, it's never easy. He looks at his forearm. He's a little bit disgruntled. Did it come off the forearm or did it come off the glove? The South African fielders had no doubt about it, nor did the umpire. Well, what a disappointment. He deserved 100. If ever a batsman did, then certainly Stephen Fleming did deserve one. And I think that's off the bat or the glove, but certainly not the forearm. Good catch from Kirsten. Well played, 99. It deserves to be recorded as a very valuable innings. 247 for 5 New Zealand.
Donald to McMillan. At least 2. Now, I know we sometimes tell a lot from gut feel and players' reactions. Now, so if I was on 99, having only made two centuries in a long career, New Zealand captain, and in this situation, I would have shown a lot bigger disappointment than Stephen Fleming did. Maybe his Dale Carnegie stuff is better than mine, but I'm afraid his disappointment was minimal. That's in the air. It's safe.
McMillan goes to 24, and that's more like the McMillan that we've come to know. It's up there. He plays positively at the ball.
Put it to rest very quickly with that 28 partnership with just 19 balls. After a stuttery start where they were 16 for 2, Dippenaar and Cullinan played well to set things up. But 3 more quick wickets must have just created a few jitters in the home dressing room.
That 6 wickets unbroken partnership. 28 was the telling blow for the New Zealanders. Not a convincing batting display in the second innings by the South Africans. The New Zealanders all were a bit expensive. O'Connor 1 for 28 in his 7. Martin, well, 5 overs, 3 of those maidens, 1 for 18, and that was a magnificent effort considering 1 over went for 17. Help of a couple of edges that went to a vacant third man. Tuffy 3 for 38 off his 8.